What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord Dr. Professor Dark Joker here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are traditional fans with opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Kurumizawa's Folly, Chapter 17. So in this chapter, so Kojima's still knocked out. Hada is he's following he's cut his hand. Kurumizawa asked him to come back inside, and he wants to patch up his hand. Yoshikawa gets in the way, and Kurumizawa says that Yoshikawa resisting won't mean much given their difference in size, and he wants to know why she's been investigating what's going on, and then yeah. And Yoshikawa says that Bilal wouldn't look the other way. And then and she believes that, the character the way Hada had created the written the character is a desire of mine for someone to, be at his side when he needs help. And you have a panel that shows looks like an image of Hada's teacher from back in the flashback. And Yoshikawa tries to grabs Kurumizawa and tells Hada to take Kojima and get out of there. And then and then yeah. And then Hada grabs Yoshikawa and restrains her and puts her to the ground. And Hada asks why Kurumizawa why he would do an inefficient method. And Hada asking the thing is and Hada says that that Yoshikawa has two part-time jobs and along with her work with Sagara. And and if she disappeared for days, someone's gonna notice. And that he had went to Sagara's uh workplace previously the same day, and he was seen there. And if anyone has a good enough memory, they'll be searching there. And Hada says that if Kurumizawa gets arrested, he won't be able to finish drawing Bilal. So Hada says the best thing to do is to make sure she keeps her mouth shut and just let her go. And Kurumizawa's confused about Hada says, oh, he's okay. He wants to continue being the Ghost Rider. And but Hada says, well, he says that he can only draw something that looks like Yoshihiko Kurumizawa's work. But so if he publishes stuff under his own name, like it's not really going to be valued as much. And he says he gets warm meals, place to sleep, and he can draw all the manga he wants. And he says that with Kurumizawa's reputation and the atonement Hada's owed, that Kurumizawa can't kick him out for the rest of his life. Yeah. And Yoshikawa says, wait, stop. Yeah, he's like, the ghost writing's an issue, but she says that the bones that they found in the back were a bigger problem. Which, yeah, that is a big. This girl says that Kurumizawa might be a murderer, and she wonders how in the world he could live under the same roof. And Hada says that Yoshiko can't understand how good life is for him compared to what it has been. Like where basically he hasn't been able to buy well, before this he hasn't been able to buy a train ticket without asking for help from people on the street, and that he'd been turned away from job interviews because he didn't know what resume was, and he lived at a factory where he's blamed for every failure. But like everything was, but it was better than living on the street. And Hada says, Yoshiko says she can help with that, and then Hada says, that Kurumizawa was able to decipher his handwriting. And says he said most people would give up after 3 pages, but everything about him might be a lie, but what he has done won't change. And Hada says that he'll be on the street again if it's out, like if he'll be on the street again if like the opportunity is taken away. So and Hada says there's no family waiting for him to return. And Kurosawa is like, wait, what? Uh, and Hada says he has a plan to keep her quiet. And he asks for a camera, and then Kurosawa starts wondering if yeah. So that he remembers that Hada saying that his parents were alive and well. You know, I guess when they first met, but he's wondering if it was all a lie, which it is. And so but Kuromizawa was hoping they can keep Yoshikawa quiet until Bilal ends. And he once he's basically got his hands dirty. He has to see it through to the end. And and he believes he can't trust Hada completely because of he could just be an act to help him escape. So Hada tells Yoshikawa to take off her clothes, and there was like, what? And Hada says that she can keep running with her just as long as like her bra is visible. And Kurosawa's like, you can't do that. And Hada says, well, she's being held against her will. We need some pictures she doesn't want the public to see. And then and Kurosawa says, no, they're not. No, that those pictures not be blackmail material. That they're going to affect the reputation. And then and Hada says he's not. He knows that. He knows that effectively. He says it's not just going to be 9 pictures. And he then cuts himself with the pen, and he says that they'll claim that she's the one who cut him. And Kurosawa and Yoshikawa are both shocked. They're like, "What?" So yeah, now we're getting to full on villain arc with Hada, which has been hinted at previously. Like the full villain arc was hinted at, and it's kind of something that was a possibility. Now we're seeing that happen. Dude, that is gonna be insane. What happens next? Like the next um chapter. Like, dude, man, like it. I think I thought this was a good chapter. Definitely would definitely got interesting. Yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking for the next one. Fire Force Season 3, Episode 24. So with this episode, Shinra and Sho are still fighting Habuya. Shinra is sad about everyone being dead, but then he hears words from Arthur, who's in space. You know, telling him to basically to get his crap together because Shinra's a hero. And then you hear Arthur's sword saying calling Shinra like basically saying fool, basically revealing that that sword is Excalibur from Soul Eater. Yes, that that darn singing sword from Soul Eater. So, basically, the manga readers know already knew that that Fire Force was a prequel to Soul Eater, and this arc basically is what officially reveals it. And basically it was all hinted at because same author, so there's a lot of similar character designs. Kind of like Hiromashima reuses a lot of character designs, terminology, character names. Some people thought maybe Fire was just something like that, but no, no, it's actually a prequel to Soul Eater, which hopefully means we get a remake. And so then Shinra and Show's mother appears. Um, so yeah, and then like, and so, and then now it's revealed that and she's like in her demon form, whatever, still, and so basically, it's revealed that Shinra's mother is the doppelganger of the evangelist. And so now Shinra, Sho, and their mother do a soul resonance. So and then basically they merge into a being. So Shinra takes it's almost like a grayish appearance. Shinra Bancho Manwear. And then yeah, so and then continue fighting Hamiya. And so Shenra tries to use his new powers to create a new world, but Hamiya is like, "No, all the despair's coming back. What are you doing?" So Shenra he basically stops time and keeps trying to you know do use some of his new creation abilities to affect the world, and then he ends up creating the Soul Eater universe. So everyone's resurrected. It's a more cartoonish world, and so and then we'll see the resolution of it all with what all happens with Hamiya. So yeah, a bunch of the characters who were dead are back, and so yeah, so I thought this was a very good episode. Like, dude, the visuals for the Boncho Man powers freaking awesome, and dude, seeing the Soul Resonance was basically the first Soul Resonance was awesome, and Excalibur coming back. I was like, okay, so also, they got to resolve what the heck happens with Arthur. Arthur being in space, that's kind of something that has to be resolved. Like, basically, and then yeah, so he's basically obviously the Arthur stuff has to be resolved. You have everything regarding the other characters. Figure out all the new stuff because since this is a prequel to Soul Eater, you have to, also a lot of stuff regarding the witches and all that have to be explained. So yeah, so so I thought this was a very good episode. Like all the visuals, getting full on Soul Eater stuff. Hopefully we get a remake. But yeah, I thought this was a very good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Season 2, Episode 10, and full season. So in this episode, Frieren, Fern, and Stark come across a bridge that was built by a dwarf named Gehen or Gihen. And so it was built over 200 years. Basically, when Frieren was with Himmel, a lot like so they came across the bridge. I guess Gian was still working on it. Himmel asked Gian to make it strong enough to last 1,000 years, and he's built a good bridge. And so there's due to Frieren's spending habits, there is some issues with money. So the group has to do a monster slaying quest. They do that in in those small snowfields while they're going towards end. And yeah, so and then once they do the quest, you have Freelan's buy something again. But apparently Fern found a way to help prevent as many money issues. But then they end it with a tease for the next arc. So Denkin is going to fight the last of the you know so amongst the demons, you have the seven stages of destruction. There's one left. Like there is one left. Dinkin is trying to like so mocked of the Golden Land. Basically Dinkin's trying to go there. Basically he basically Dinkin's I guess hometown was homeland was affected by Mock, so he's trying to defeat Mocked. And looks like that's gonna be the next arc, like in season 3. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Great tease for season 3. Great episode. But really like this episode. Really like this season. Like this is a very good season. Like Freeren's a very good show. So yeah, I thought it was a very good season. Looking forward to season 3. Evangelion 30 plus. So this is a short film that celebrates the 30th anniversary of Neon Genesis Evangelion. So basically you have the Asuka from the original show and the one from the rebuild of Evangelion films, like basically going over different you know Asuka's role in each of those, along with potential alternate timelines and stuff like that. And yeah, basically I guess because Asuka's never really had a happy ending. Um, yeah, so and then and yeah, so and I believe there's like a new show being made, a new Evangelion being made. Now, what exactly is gonna go on with it? I don't know. Like, and where it'll stream, I don't know. Where it's gonna be Netflix, Amazon, where I don't know. And quite will it be which and if it's part of one of which ending will it go with? Will it go with end of Evangelion or go with the rebuild of Evangelion? Because end of Evangelion was like all the stuff going on the outside of Shinji's mind. While the TV show, due to some, I think it was there was budget issues, censorship issues, whatever going on. So there was some stuff that was not able to be put into the TV show, which is why the last two episodes, well, suck. Like those last two episodes are not good. And whereas the whereas End of Evangelion's great. Like that is a good movie. And basically does explain a lot of things a lot better. It's very bleak, but I mean, no one really gets like that much of a happy ending in Evangelion. But yeah, so I wasn't a fan of this short. Like it was kind of all over the place and not really in the good way. Like you have Shinji's little like whatever's going on in his mind in the last episode of the TV show. It was kind of like that, but I guess with Asuka instead of with Shinji. And I was trying to be more humorous than the TV shows those last two episodes. So I was like, okay, I don't want it to be like if you're gonna do a. I mean, look, the ending, the last two episodes of Neon Genesis and Evangelion are not necessarily the most well received television episodes out there. They're just not. I don't think if you're gonna celebrate third anniversary, I don't think you do something like that. Like I would say if you're gonna do something, maybe I don't know, maybe do a documentary or something, or you know, announce it. Hey, we're doing a new show. Just have an announcement and dab in it. But yeah, so I didn't really like this short. Um, it definitely had a lot more humor than like the Shinji's mindscape thing. So which I would say does help it some. It does provide more humor, so it's not like it's definitely better than those two episodes. But I still don't think it's good. So yeah, I mean, you don't really need to watch it, I guess, to understand the series, and I doubt you need to watch it to understand I guess, the new Evangelion show. So, yeah, but, the Evangelion was a very influential anime in the 90s. 30 years. It deserves a lot of credit for the impact it's had on the industry. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.